and welcome to another exciting episode of 31 Days of Indie Horror. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got an awesome guest here, Jo Gonsalves. How you doing, Jo?
I am fantastic. It is good to be back on. Thank you so much for having me again.
It feels like it's been so long. I don't know. It has really, right? Like it's been at least a couple months,
I don't know. Time just has no meaning this past 18 months. Has it been 18 months? 18 months. Yeah, there's no concept of time anymore. It's everything's just a blur. So
sort of true. It's just been crazier every like day, And so, by the way, this is going to be out in October. So, for everybody, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully by October things will be a little better, but
fingers crossed.
fingers crossed. That's why I'm going to have content every day for you guys. So you'll have something to look forward to in there. If maybe things will get worse. I hope not. I really hope not. Fingers crossed that they get better, but we'll find out. But until then, we are talking about the I think it was 2016 film Shiver. I think
I thought it was 2013.
Was it 13?
I think so.
It might have been.
I might be wrong though too. I don't know. I jumble things a lot.
2012.
Oh, we were both wrong.
We were both wrong, but you were closer. If we were playing a game, you would be closer.
The Price is Right. I won by the dollar.
Yeah. That's true.
$1.
Yes, Drew Carey would be telling you to go pick another game to play,
and then spay and neuter my pets.
What was that? What? I don't know about that, but all right.
You don't know the saying real quick. You don't know the thing on Price is Right. Well, maybe that was Bob Barker that did that.
No,
spay and neuter your animals.
Wait, is that what Bob Barker used to say?
At the end of the show, he'd always say, "Spay and neuter your animals."
I think I've told you this before, but Freddie behind you is really creepy.
That's why he's there. He's my creeper.
He's just staring like at the camera too. It's like
looking
straight at. He's like, He's like, I'm gonna be invading your dreams later, bitch. Which, okay, so let's get into Shiver right now. Yeah. So the killer says bitch a lot, and that drove me nuts because as much as I love the killer, like I actually like this guy. Like I liked the actor. He was also the lead killer in what's those movies? The Wolf Creek movies. You ever watch Wolf Creek?
That's where I've seen him from, because I'm like, why does this fool look familiar? That ain't John Oliver. Because I kept thinking he kind of looks like John Oliver. Like where have I seen this man before?
Yeah, and he was so good because you never would have noticed it was him because he didn't have his Australian accent, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's the killer in the Wolf Creek movies. I guess he's gotten typecast as the killer.
I guess.
Which,
Wolf Creek was actually based on a true crime story, right? Like real events and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I have not seen those movies in forever, so
yeah,
I'm gonna have to revisit them later. So you got the killer from Wolf Creek, and you got Danielle Harris and Casper Van Dien and Ray Don Chong. So you got some, like, those are some good names, honestly. Like, yeah. I was pretty impressed by that cast right there. It wasn't the greatest script in the world, but like,
no.
But it's got a great cast, and everybody, all the actors do an amazing job, as good as they can for what they're sort of given. So let's go into the story. Basically, it's about a serial killer who's on the loose in, I think it's Portland, Oregon, or around that area. And there's this killer. He calls himself the Griffin, and I don't even know. Oh, because he has those little Griffin like.
The little bars of soap that he gives every day.
Yeah. I
don't know what they are. They just look like bars of soap to me.
I don't know what they are. I thought they were like little statues, but maybe they were bars of soap. I don't know. But his name's a Griffin, and he says he likes to be artistic or whatever, but his kills aren't very artistic, or anything. He seems awfully sloppy too for a killer. you know?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really have like a methodical way of killing people, just kind of does it, you know?
Mhm.
Like the first girl we see him kill is this chick, Kathy, I think is her name. And I was like, honestly, I think that was her name, right? Was that her name?
Yeah, Kathy.
And I was just like thinking, this chick does not look like a Kathy, you know?
No. And it was
Like,
an awkward conversation that they had too. It was just,
well, that I chalked up to that guy being awkward and weird, you
yeah.
know? So that didn't bother me. Actually, that sort of made it more fun. Is like knowing, okay, this is guy's probably a killer because
Mhm.
he's like, or at least he's about to be one, you know? Maybe this was his first kill, which I guess it wasn't, you know? I think he had killed people before before her, you know? She wasn't the one that like set off his first spree ever, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but you could definitely tell he's done it before, but he's you know, like I said, he's sort of sloppy. He just kind of does it. He doesn't really like he sort of had a plan. You know, he was like, I'm gonna wait
Yeah.
out until she comes out here, and then I'm the killer. But like honestly, why did she just like stare at him and not like run? You know?
Right?
You
I
know?
really, this movie, I felt it had potential. It was poorly written. That's all I can think is this was poorly written. Like this person did not really do much research when they did this because even though it's like I guess it's like a horror. No, I wouldn't really call it a horror movie. I'd call it like a suspense
Like it was supposed to be a
thriller.
psychological thriller,
I don't know what
but
psychological it got into, except for this movie really makes you think about how poorly it was written.
that's the psychological bit of it. Um, I don't know. I think that's what it was marketed as, like, or whatever said as psychological thriller. And I really,
Okay.
I don't agree either because there's no, you don't kind of go into the psyche of the killer or, you know, or he doesn't do anything, you know, sort of methodical or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was, like I said, it was sloppy. You know,
it
he
was.
didn't. Well, I mean, he was a sloppy killer. Like that was obvious, but sort of made it. And he drove my anxiety high. I don't know about you, but like every single time, I'm like, oh my god! Like there's so many things that just happened. That's just drives me crazy. Like the car, like he gets in the cop car and the car explodes and somehow or another he magically got out of it.
Yeah, like he's all of a sudden like he's Michael Myers or something, and he just like none of this shit applies to him. He's just
Yeah.
superhuman in some sense.
Or
Maybe
like,
that's why Danielle Harris was in it. They're like, you know what, this shit just doesn't make sense. While he can just go through all this, we got to have her in this to help
just,
with more of this feel of what's going on.
I mean, you know, and there, it doesn't really go into the backstory of who this guy really is or anything.
No,
You just sort of know he's just, I there was a little bit, there was that little bit of like him being bullied when he was younger or something
but
a
that
little
was like
back.
towards the end, though, more or less.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess that makes sense though, like for them to kind of make you, I don't know if you're supposed to feel sorry for him or something at all, but I really didn't because like, look, dude, I got bullied, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
fucking go and, you know, like kill people because I got bullied, you know? I mean,
Right.
that's ridiculous. You know, I don't feel sympathy for you as a killer because you were picked on for having glasses when you were, you know, 6, you know, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
don't.
There was. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, there's that part of the movie where, like, Danielle Harris's character is sitting there talking about how she's like, like, I kind of feel sorry for him because I was picked on and bullied, or I had a bad childhood too. And that's exactly what I was thinking. It was like, so?
Yeah. So
Like,
what?
so?
We all have. We've all our child. Most people's childhood sucked in some way or
Yes.
another. You know, maybe there was good times, maybe there was bad, but like most of the time it sucked, you know.
Yeah,
And you know what? That's part of being a child is like life is gonna suck. It's getting you ready for adulthood, you know.
exactly.
It doesn't make us a serial killer or, you know, or I don't even know. Like, I don't know why he picked her out of everybody, which no offense. Like, I love Danielle. I mean, but
Hmm.
her character was nothing, you know, and like her character in the beginning, she was so weak, she couldn't even ask her. boss or whatever. And then I get, maybe it was when she stabbed him that all of a sudden, there was a little bit of a like, ooh, now I like this chick because she's feisty.
I think it was
Yeah.
that, and when he'd asked her, what did he ask her? I'm gonna have to like paraphrase this, but basically, like, what do you regret in your life or
Like
not doing in
why
your life?
why do you want to live? Basically.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't get a chance to love," and then he was just like, oh.
She was like,
I
you
think
can
that
get a
was
chance
part
to
of
love
it,
me.
right? I think
Oh,
that
wait,
was
wait.
kind of a little bit of it.
He said that though, but then he was like, I'm gonna kill you anyway. You're gonna, I lied to you. I said I was gonna let you go, but now I'm gonna kill you actually. And then
Yeah.
that's when she stabbed him and ran off. And then he found out her boyfriend's sort of boyfriend guy that she's sort of seeing that
I
wasn't
don't
really like.
know. They don't get into a lot of anybody's shit in this movie.
I know you kind of don't really get much character development. So
Mm-mm.
like anytime somebody dies, you're just like, like, okay.
Wasn't attached.
Yeah, you're not attached. You don't feel anything. And even for Danielle, I honestly, I didn't care. Like, I mean, and that doesn't go anything to Danielle as an actress because I adore her, but I
No,
think that
yeah.
was a lot to do with the writing. I just literally, if he had killed her by the end of the movie, I would have been like, okay, that happened.
Yeah.
He lived, whatever. I just don't care, you know. And so, I mean, it was it was okay. Like the things that got me were the things that just drove me crazy is like the scene where he's, going to prison and there's only one guard there
Yeah.
and things like
I
that.
actually like that part of the movie.
Did you? I just thought it
I
was so
did.
fake and dumb and like this would not happen.
I think it was that it was partly that reason because I was like, okay, that looks like a short bus just painted and they wrote like prison on it. That bus was so fucking tiny. It was so little.
Well, that only was transporting like two prisoners or something, two or
Yeah.
three prisoners,
Well,
you
maybe that's
know.
why they only had one guard on there. But I mean, like,
But
it's
still, like you don't
yeah.
have just one guard,
Yeah, and he didn't
like
fight back or anything. And then I mean, the most believable part of that scene for me was the inmate that was behind him talking crap about what he did and what
mm-hmm.
he was going to do to him and stuff. I'm like, oh, that totally happens in prison. Like, yeah,
Right.
they don't like people who do stuff to like women and little kids and stuff. So I totally actually believe this part.
That's
But
funny. That's probably the only part you believed, but
yeah,
even though I love how you called it a short bus. That's funny.
yeah, it was like a short bus.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
All the special inmates go on there. I mean, no
Special
offense to anybody
inmates.
at all. I'm just,
Special inmates. That guy was pretty special. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, you special kind of guys on that bus. So
Yeah, and then and I loved how that guy was like, "Oh, hey man, you're gonna let me live, right?" Like,
right.
dude, you're just talking shit about him. Like, no way he's gonna let you live, or whatever.
Yeah, and then
Um,
the bus driver was all like, "Hey, what's all that noise back there?" It's like you don't hear the other dude getting choked the hell out. Like
you know,
you
you're
got a
like,
river near, you can't go look.
yeah, or you can't like keep your gun on you at that particular moment to make sure you don't fucking, you know. I don't know. It was just
Yeah,
like I didn't like that scene as much, but I get it why you do because but it was probably it just drove me nuts because I'm like, seriously, this guy can't
yeah,
even make it to prison like before he gets out. Like there and once again, it's like people are apparently people do stupid shit and then that's how he survives, you know what I mean, and everything, and that's how he gets out. Or like he's just like the luckiest guy in the world. My
or
favorite
he's Michael
scene,
Myers.
or he's Michael Myers. Or like my favorite other scene is, and this is kind of a really fucked up scene, but when he walks in and with a shotgun to the girl's work and just starts blowing everybody up, I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, because that kind of shit scares the hell out of me. That something like
Oh
that could just
yeah.
happen these days, especially more and more and more these days. People are just shooting people, for no
Yeah.
reason whatsoever, just because they feel like it, like tell me where that person is. Okay, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like what if she didn't tell him where she was? He would have just shot her and then try to figure it out. like
I
himself.
guess there's only so many hallways I guess you can go down.
Yeah, that was a
So
big office space too. So
yeah. I did laugh at one part. I mean, again, it like, like you said, it's kind of a messed up scene. But when he has her and he's going to assault her, basically, I'm trying to find a nice word to put this, like to assault her in that one room after he kidnaps her and stuff. And he's frustrated because he can't like get it up, basically. And he's sitting there frustrated, like trying to, and he's like, just the look on his face and how he's like reacting and stuff. And I'm just laughing at him. I'm like, this is so awkward and just kind of funny to watch at the same time.
I don't know. Like so I was gonna ask you, and I think I've asked you this before, so maybe I don't need to. But I like to ask people sometimes if they're okay with assault scenes and stuff like that,
It
because
varies. It really varies for me. Like I don't like to see the very graphic stuff. If it's
right.
implied, I'm fine with it. Like I don't even mind the words being said. Like that doesn't like trigger me or anything. But it's like the graphic, long, ongoing stuff. It's like whether it's a male or a female, whomever it's happening to, it's just kind of like, okay, I think we could have made this implied here, buddy. We kind of get it. We can wrap this up now. So
There's a movie that I really like, but it's really effed up. Like it's a messed up movie. It's called Vulgar, and it does have like a very graphic sort of like assault scene. Like I don't even like to say the word because it triggers people. So I
right.
don't want somebody listening to this and get triggered by that word. I didn't even realize like that was a big trigger to people until I was in a car with somebody and it was a song and it was a parody song and it was silly and goofy and had that word in it. And somebody was like, like it like really triggered her badly. And I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh,
know,
interesting.
what I mean?
Interesting.
Just saying the word for some people can really do stuff to them. And so I just try not to even say it, like even in the podcasts and stuff much, because I just don't want, our listeners to feel that way.
That's understandable.
Well, then once I'm going to let my dog out real quick. He can't teleport out again. So hold on.
Oh man, he lost his abilities.
I know.
It's only when your dad's close by as he has the powers to do that.
I know. Apparently so. Anyway, so yeah, so basically there's these scenes, and all in all, I mean, I can't hate on the movie. Would I really want to watch this over and over again? No.
Yeah.
This is sort of a one and done movie, and I think I own it on DVD.
Oh.
We watched it on yeah, I think I do because I'm, I like to collect all of Danielle Harris's movies because I really respect her and admire her work, but I don't think I'd ever watch this again. This is not
Yeah.
something I'd be running to like see all the time. I mean, I'd rather see Wolf Creek, over and over again. So we've got this killer who basically is just sort of odd and weird and I guess he's socially awkward,
Mm-hmm.
like I could see the idea that like he can't even get a girlfriend. So like he has to do these things because, like
Yeah.
like he got frustrated when the girl said, she was busy on Saturday and she couldn't make, she couldn't go out. And like he knew that meant she wasn't interested in him. That was a polite way of saying, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, right?
Yeah.
And everything. And then he took it to like, oh my God,
Yeah, like
and
he totally freaked out on her and just like stormed out. And she's like, wait, maybe another time. And then I would have just been like, thank God. Because if
yeah.
that's how he's going to act with rejection, I wouldn't even want you to be my friend, dude. Like,
Yeah, seriously, like chill the fuck out, man. Like,
yeah.
get, also, he was much older than her anyway. Like,
Yeah.
she was probably like, dude, you're like my father's age. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger, Jesus.
For sure, though, stranger danger. Jeez.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't see him as a guy that like does anything to kids though, like or anything. Like
No. Well, I mean, he did kill that pregnant lady.
well, right.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's about as close as it got to it.
Mhm.
So killed the baby through her kind of deal.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of that stuff, which I guess he didn't have he didn't care as much, like that, which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few fucked up stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
All in all, though, I don't know. It's really hard to say this thing because I thought we are gonna be able to talk a lot about this shit, and I sadly no. Casper Van Dien and Radon,
Starship Troopers.
yeah, Starship Troopers. I mean, I absolutely love Casper, and every time I think of his name, I think of the friendly ghost. Like
I know, who the hell do you actually know named Casper? Like,
I don't.
I
Other
don't
than
know.
him, nobody. I don't think.
Nobody. He probably
Yeah.
said, you know what? I'm changing my name so no one forgets it. I'll just
That's
deal
true.
with it. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Let me find out if he's got another name. Because it lets you know if he was born something.
Oh, I
Nope.
don't know. I'm just talking
Nope.
crap.
Nope. His
Legit
birth name was Casper Robert Van Dien Jr.
Huh.
Junior. That means there's a senior out there too.
There's another one floating around.
I know. Is he gonna name his kids Casper? Oh, let's find out if he has any kids
Casper
right now.
the third. I think there was a third movie.
Oh yeah. His son is Cappy Van Dien.
What?
Is named Casper.
Oh man, we
first born of the family is named Casper.
And he's just like, I'm gonna be different and unique. I'm gonna name my kid Cappy. Like,
well, I guess that's the nickname, I guess. But his real name is Casper. Like his son's first name is Casper. So apparently it's all the first sons. His son is the 7th of 7 fucking Casper Van Diens out there.
There's a pack of Caspers running around.
I know. Well, I know some of them are probably no longer around. But,
right.
But yeah.
Some of them are ghosts now.
Sorry, Casper. I still want to work with you.
It's like, don't mind the dumb blonde on the other end of this podcast. She's a jerk.
Oh, she wants.
But he aged well. He's still a very handsome man. So
I'm sure he loves hearing that.
He drinks a lot of water, obviously. So
a lot more than we do. A lot more than we do. So
I got watered down Dr. Pepper. Does that count? My ice melted.
Oh, okay. There you go. So Casper Van Dien and Radon Chong play like detectives who sort of are just in the movie. And then what I hated was that there's like the romantic thing between Danielle and Casper. I was just like, I'm not digging this. Like, I'm not digging this side story. Because I don't see it,
Like, it didn't develop either. Like nothing developed in this movie.
It sort of was like, okay, we're talking now. Okay, now we're going out to now we're dating. Oh my God. Like it was like there was no kind of like development. There was no kind of like a hint of anything could be, like he wasn't giving her like looks or talking to her about anything. It was sort of just like,
no, he let her use his phone to call her mom and tell her off. I mean, that's something right there.
I know, but that wasn't her plan originally. Her plan was to ask, I guess, for safety or something, or whatever. You know what? She should have still went over to her mom's house, so her mom could have been killed by the guy.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I like that.
But then
mom was a jerk.
I know her mom was. Well, also it got annoying with the writing. Going back to the writing, I hated the fact. I hate when writers and directors and everybody make sure to do this in a scene where they have the person saying, I'm in trouble. I need your help. And blah, 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 blah. Oh, but I'm in trouble. People don't do that. When people talk on the phone, if they say, I'm in trouble, I need your help. And the other person goes, oh, I go, Mom, I was attacked last night. Like, that's it. right? But it was just more blah 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 with the mother, so that we could hate her and that we could
Yeah.
feel something for Danielle's character. Of she's finally sticking up to her mom, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
we could have used that in another scene. We could have had her go visit her mom, talk to her mom face to face, and then tell her mom off, or whatever, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. But the way that they did it over the phone, I felt was just so annoying, because I see it all the time. I see this sort of interaction on the phone where one person will say something, other person will talk, 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 and that person will just keep saying the same thing and not telling them what she's actually trying to say. And it's so obnoxious to me. Like, I didn't like that scene at all. Like, that drove me
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah.
I
So
thought the cops were just obnoxious, period. Like I said earlier, this film I felt had a lot of potential if this person would have done more research. And like we said, there's no character development. I
mhm.
watch a lot of true crime. I'm like totally into true crime. And when she comes from the hospital and she's talking to Casper Van Dien, she's got like that little, the thing around her neck, and oh, so sorry. No, go away. Damn it. Oh no.
It's okay. Do we
Oh,
lose
okay, you're still here. You're still
Yeah,
here.
I'm
I
still
can't
here.
find you.
Yeah,
Okay.
your video. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Sorry, my alarm went off. I was like, no, I forgot to turn it off. Sorry. But yeah, like when she's in the station, like after she's first attacked and everything, and she's like, he used something called a garrote, and I didn't need stitches because it wasn't that deep. And he's like, really, we thought it was a knife. I'm like, you know what? It's just because I watch so much true crime. I'm just like, any cop would have known that it was a garrote. They would not have suspected it was a knife, because a knife makes different like cuts. Like, you
Right.
would have had to have used like one of those big long pizza machetes. I call them pizza machetes.
Right.
To like get like a straight, even, clean cut like that. Like a knife, just a knife, you'd have to be like sawing at someone's neck. But those garrotes, they're like, it's like putting, floss through cheese kind of deal.
So you're thinking
And
that like the people learned the word garage, but then they didn't they made the cops really fucking dumb.
yeah, I was like, this person did not do research like on certain things. And I don't know. And then some of the effects were very cheesy. I don't know if you noticed this or not. I like when Kathy gets killed at the beginning, you
Mhm.
can, to me, and I'm just saying, to me, when they kept like after he killed her and they kept like going to her face, it looked like her eyes were animated open.
Oh.
Like her eyes were not actually open. It's like they CGI'd her eyes to be open.
I didn't notice that, but now I sort of want to
I think there was
rewatch that
like
scene for
one
that.
I think there was one cut in where her eyes were actually open, and I was like, "Oh, I see where they could have cut and paste on the rest of the scenes."
Yikes.
And yeah, and then there was one where they went in and they found Jennifer's body, the neighbor.
Ha, Jennifer's body.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too when I watched the movie, because I was like, God, Jennifer's body sucks. And I was like, actually, I kind of like that movie, but this scene sucked. When they clipped and they showed her decapitated, it looked like a painting almost. It didn't look like a real photo or a real scene. It actually looked like a painting of some sort.
Right.
So I was like, this animation or whatever it is that they're doing, like, it's cheap. It feels cheap. I was like, you guys got these awesome actors and you have the money to do these effects, some of these effects, but you're like doing cheap shit, it looks like.
So another thing that like drove me crazy is when Jennifer runs into the apartment, she doesn't lock the door like quickly,
No.
which was what normal people would do. Run into the apartment, lock the door,
Dumb white girls. I'm just kidding.
What?
Said dumb white girls.
I know, seriously. So it drove me nuts to see that kind of stuff or whatever. But I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
the whole movie had like plot issues and problems. And look, this is why we do 31 days of indie horror, to celebrate indie horror, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not telling you guys that you shouldn't watch Shiver. Go see it. It's free on TV. Go check it out. We're not telling
cool.
you, you might like it. Just because we didn't exactly, we didn't hate it. We just thought it was meh, You know, I think that was my consensus. So it was meh.
Yeah.
Like it
It was
wasn't,
kind of meh.
yeah, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't great, you know, like it was, and it wasn't good, you know. And so it just sort of was like, okay, you know, like I've seen this movie now. Um, Ray Dawn Chong, I thought it was what a waste of her character. Her character was just there to just tell Casper Van Dien shit. You
Yeah.
know, like she had no real character herself. And she's been in shit. She was in like Commando, and I think she was in Commando. I think she was in she was a Commando, yes, because she was the chicken Commando. You ever seen that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Like in the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the 80s. It was like best part is like they were in a mall and they had like the shootout in a mall and shit.
It was like I want to say I have, like, it was right after Conan. It was like right when he was first getting into acting, wasn't it? And he was still like all like huge, or no?
It was a little after that, I think, but I think it was after like Terminator and all that stuff. Like it was like late
Okay, maybe
80s.
not.
But anyway, the point is she was in that. She was in a ton of other movies, and she's a great actress. And sort of, I kind of feel bad for her because she's in a lot of these low budget horror films that just sort of are, like because she's sort of a name enough where they can put it on a cover on a DVD cover, and people are like, oh, I remember that chick, and I'm gonna put her in my movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just sort of like Casper Van Dien, like he is a name actor. Danielle Harris, you put them in your movie in order, to put them on the, thing to sell the movie. In fact, I know Danielle was going to be in the movie, but I actually thought she was going to have a smaller part. Because generally speaking, she has, a lot of times she has like little parts. She doesn't do the, she does like cameo appearances a lot, and this was a feature. This is her movie, and so like her character starts out meek and sort of kind of like you've seen that movie Hatchet, well, not really like Hatchet, because Hatchet, at least she's sort of always been, her character's always sort of badass, like that character sort of, but yeah, like there's a lot of these characters where that was supposed to be a character arc where she is this weak sort of chick who sticks up for herself in the first act, and all of a sudden she becomes more badass throughout the thing. She has to survive all of these terrifying things. Linda Hamilton, as an example, in the original Terminator, she was sort of this weak chick who all of a sudden, by the end of the movie, you're like, oh shit, she's about to fucking kill some people. Whatever.
Ooh. Or The Long Kiss Goodnight. Have you ever seen that one?
Yes.
I love that. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. Gina Davis is such a badass. So, and I love Sam Jackson. Motherfucker.
What is it? Alien. Ripley.
Oh yeah.
Ripley at first wasn't this like strong ass chick. All of a sudden, at the end of the first Alien, she's a badass. And then all of a sudden, throughout the rest of the stuff, she's a badass, So if they were to make a Shiver 2, her character would be more badass, I guess. But I hope they never make a Shiver 2.
Yeah.
Let's
just kind of leave that one alone.
Move on. I mean, they're, so the writer is Robert D. Weinbach. He's only written 3 movies. This is his last, latest movie. His first one was in 1966. It's called Hallucination Generation.
What?
Yeah.
He's got some spaced out like times to do these movies, because it's been like almost 10 years since that one, since the Shiver.
No. What? 10 years? This was 1966.
Wait. No. I said for Shiver, because Shiver was 2012.
Right. It's so a long ass time. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like got a lot of spacing in between these movies that he's done, if he's only done 3.
And then the second one was called The Freak Maker, and that was in 1974. And and then this one, Shiver, in 2012. Now the Freak Maker, that looks like a horror film.
Sounds interesting, just the title.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like, I don't know. It doesn't say what. There's also known as The Mutation, so I'm guessing it's like a horror. and
Okay.
a horror film. Then Hallucination Generation sounds like it's a drama.
Hmm.
So yeah, horror sci-fi for the Freak Maker. And then this.
Oh.
And but he was a producer for Cauldron of Blood, Hot Pants Holiday, Good Luck Miss Wyckoff, and Shiver. And then additional crew, he I guess he had some footage of a movie called Mad Dog that he was courtesy for Jackie Brown. But aside
Hmm.
from that, he hadn't really done anything. Um, so this was sort of, yeah, I guess it was a spaced out thing. I don't know where like this came, like the idea came from. The director of it, Julian Richards, is not the same writer, is not the same guy.
Hmm.
He That's really funny. So he did a movie called Reborn recently, in 2018, which also starred Radon Chong. So I'm guessing they had a good time on Shiver. And he did a movie called Daddy's Girl, and the recent movie is called Death Simber. So I'm
Ooh.
guessing starring Barbara Crampton and Tiffany Shepis. So
Hmm.
I like, good for him to keep making movies after after this one, because I don't know, like, maybe it did well, maybe it didn't. A lot of these
Mm.
movies go straight to DVD and then Tubi or
Yeah.
Prime. That's the kind of sad thing about indie horror these days, is just they kind of disappear. They don't make a lot of, unless you make like Paranormal Activity, you're not making a lot of money on your movie. You're just making, you're just putting it out there for your next movie to be able to get made,
Yeah, and it sucks because there is a lot of really good indie horror. There's a lot of creative concepts and scripts, and there's I find there's a lot more interesting and well put together indie horror than there is this Hollywood horror stuff anymore, especially since they've been doing remakes and reboots and rewashes or whatever the hell they want to call them. So I don't know. I think there is a lot of really good indie horror that just doesn't get its credit.
I agree. And a lot, once again, that's why I like to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's the Funhouse, then screw that movie.
Which one is that?
We did the Funhouse like a
Oh,
long
oh
time
yeah.
ago, remember?
That was for 31 Days of Indie Horror last year.
Yeah, with Rebecca and Julie, wasn't it? Or was it just Rebecca? I can't even remember.
I
I
don't
know it
know.
had to have been Rebecca for sure.
Okay. Wait,
But that
maybe.
that was like the first one we did, I think, was the Funhouse.
Are you talking about the 80s horror films? Because we
Yeah,
didn't
or it
do
did
that.
like
We did.
Spring Breaker at first, or what? Or it clips into, you think it's going into Spring Breakers or Spring Break or some
Oh,
crap.
you're
It's like
talking about the
what did we just watch?
Mutilator. The Mutilator.
Oh, I thought it was called the Funhouse.
No, it's called the
Oh,
Mutilator. No, I was gonna say I
oh,
did do the Funhouse last year, but I think I did that with Madeline Deering, or it's Funhouse Massacre or something. I don't know, something like that. But the Funhouse was a Toby Hooper movie, and I was
no,
gonna
we
say,
watched the Funhouse too, I believe. I'm pretty sure I watched the Funhouse with you guys.
all right, well, I'll figure that out. We'll talk about that later. Oh my goodness, I
It
don't
was
know,
just like,
because
no.
it's so funny. I've done so much that it's really
Yeah.
hard to remember which ones I do. I have to actually today, even I had to look back to make sure I wasn't doing something that I've already, well, not for this one. I knew I hadn't watched this one yet, but there's certain movies sometimes I'm like, did I watch that? That like sounds
Yeah.
familiar or whatever. So
Mm.
plus, doing 31 days, you're gonna have 31 like separate
Ooh.
movies, that you
You
have
need to
to
keep a
do.
digital log or something so you can just like type it in to see if you've done it or not or something, maybe.
Actually, YouTube has like the playlists. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah, so I've added all my 31 ones on one playlist. So I
Hmm.
just go back over there, just go, okay, I did that. All right, all right. So
Perfect.
most of the time I know I didn't do it, or I didn't do it for something else,
Hmm.
like I can tell, but sometimes, not all the time, I can't. So you just never know.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, I just definitely want to appreciate. Is there anything that we we didn't get to talk about that you really liked or didn't like, that you want to talk about?
I think we covered it.
Yeah, I think we did too. And we got about 40 minutes in, and so I think we did that. I think we handled it well. It's one of those things where um I just I'm not 100% like, I don't know. I just, this movie was just pretty bad. Like it had, I was expecting better. That's maybe not my
Yeah.
problem, because you see Danielle Harris, and
Hmm.
I hate to say it, but like even back then in 2012, she was doing work just to get work, and everything. So she'll take
It
whatever.
happens.
And well, yeah, I mean, sometimes you go where the money goes. If
Yeah.
somebody offers you money to play a role, you're like, sure, I'll do it. Uh okay. Apparently this was given a UK release in February of 2021. It was not in the
Really?
UK until then, under the title Skin Collection.
What?
Did he collect skin?
He had the heads.
But that's
Like they
not.
kind of gave him like a slight, because like I said, I watch a lot of true crime. They kind of gave him a little bit of like a BTK and an Ed Gein feel a little bit, but not all the way. It was like little hints of it, but
Well,
never really went into anything. But he
BTK
just,
was sort of weird, right? Like,
yeah.
I remember watching the movie, the Kane Hodder. Have you seen that? Like, Kane Hodder was in a BTK movie. It's called
No.
BTK, and he played. It was Dennis Rader, right? That was his name or
Oh,
whatever.
he played Dennis Rader. Dennis Rader is so disgusting. I can't stand him. He's
I
like the
think
biggest piece of shit.
what I think that's who. Isn't that what the BT?
Like, no,
What?
that is his name. That is his real name. But
Okay.
he's such a freak of nature. Like, I can't stand that guy. Like, I'm so glad he's off the streets.
Well, sort
So,
of. Kane Hodder played him like sort of like that other guy, where he's
okay.
this kind of lonely man who like doesn't know how to talk to people, and is awkward and weird and sort of thing like that. So I think maybe that might be a little where they got the, maybe from the Kane Hodder version, not actually from Dennis Rader himself, because I don't think
Yeah.
he
Because Dennis
actually.
Rader was like hyper narcissistic. I mean, he was awkward and weird, but he was like hyper narcissistic. He was just very full of himself and just,
I don't know. Kane Hodder could play that,
oh, yeah, no, I can totally see that. But I'm like, please don't taint
That,
Kane Hodder with that garbage, man.
I
So,
know, I know. He
but yeah, we do what we got to do sometimes. So, no
hey,
judgment.
look, hey, he was there, and he was also Ed Gein in a
Yeah.
Ed Gein movie. It was a Ed Gein, Butcher of Plainsfield or whatever that he
Hmm.
did. And I thought, I think he should do more movies where he's a serial killer, because he's just,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is perfect as a listen to us. We're talking we're talking Danielle Harris, and now we're talking Kane Hodder,
Right. We totally
And
switch this shit up.
I think they're like best friends, so I think they're okay with that.
Nice.
All right. Anyway, we're done. We're done with this. So everybody, Joe has an amazing show out there. We'll plug your show for us.
I do a show called Any Last Words. It's basically like a horror variety show. You can catch it on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch live when I go live. Um,
What days do you do that on?
it used to be consistent. Now it's just kind of everywhere. I'm doing a lot more pre-recorded episodes right now because I'm starting to feature a lot more indie horror trailers, but I do those pre-recorded rather than live because I want to mainly focus on those, and not that I don't appreciate comments and the banter back and forth, but I really want to focus on what it is that I'm showing of everybody's as far as their trailers go for their movies. So
Very cool. That's awesome.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, keep it up. I love it. I love seeing everything you're doing. I know you were part of 80s horror films, which won't be back till next year. I don't think till it might not be till March of next year. So we're I'm really busy with a lot of stuff. So
Yeah,
um
you're a busy guy.
I'm actually happy because this is October. After this is done, this is wrapped. There's going to be like a big break from a lot of stuff, for a couple months,
Yeah.
and I that will be toward Christmas time, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna be happy. There won't be as much content, sadly, but there'll be a break. And I honestly, with all the shit, like just this is August right now, and my August is booked,
There you
fully.
go.
So, well, it's there I go, but there I go. Like
Yeah,
there's
you
just
need that mental flush, but you're
I
almost there. You're almost
I know
there.
I'm almost there. It's almost at the finish line for now. But until then, I'm gonna keep going and doing what I do. And you guys, you'll have a episode every day this month. So get ready because that is insane. I did that last year and it was insane. I think were you part of last year's 31 days or not?
I might have been. I was off and on
A
with
lot
some
of
of your
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. So I know you did the Boogity Man with
Bride
me.
Bride of Boogie. Or
Yeah.
well, no, yeah, Mr.
It was
Boogity.
Mr. Boogedy and
Mr.
Bride, I
Boogity.
think. Or was it just Mr.?
I think it was just Mr. Boogity, but I was
Okay.
remembering more of Bride of Boogity because I liked that one better than the first one, I think.
So you watched them both back to back then, I'm
Yeah.
guessing. Yeah. They were classics, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think if I do another, I think we did that for What the Fuck Friday, and I think if I might bring that back either this year for Bride of Boogedy, and if I do that, I'll definitely be bringing you on, to talk about
I'll make
that.
some spinach ice cream just for it. Well, I'll do a creepy kitchen kiss crossover of it, and I'll make some spinach ice cream because that's what I think that's what they had in that movie. He's like spinach ice cream, and they were like, "Ew, we don't want this."
Yes. We'll have to that'll have to be what we do.
There you go. I don't know. I'm just spitballing, talking shit.
I know. As you do.
As I do.
So thank you so much. I can't wait for you to be back for other episodes of different stuff that we're doing. You're always welcome. So you know that. And everybody else, thank you guys so much for checking this out. And see you tomorrow for another one. Bye.
Bye.